Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Man United Agenda. And yes, it is World Cup fever. According to FIFA, it's probably the best World Cup ever. That's no comment about it, but let's go and talk to the beautiful people of Omundi, as always. Pat and Mark, how are we doing, guys? You good?
Happy as always to be on the agenda, lads.
Excellent. That's what we like to hear and like to see. So, World Cup fever, guys. Argentina, can Messi do it? Or can Mbappe do it? And can France win it twice in a row? And that's what Patrice ever says. If they do win it, they could go on to win it for the next 8 years. So, guys, make sure you like and share it and subscribing to the channel. So what we're going to do is we are going to be talking about Manchester United players in this World Cup. And then we are going to be talking a little bit about France and Argentina. And in my opinion, come on, France, hope you do it for us. But we are going to talk about the first player. And it's a player that, for us, had a heart attack in the last tournament, but came back stronger and better. And seems like he's guarantee a spot at Manchester United, and that's none other than Christian Eriksen. And I know Mark's got a lot to say about this, but we're going to try and limit his time down on it. So, Mark, Christian Eriksen, Man United, what did you make of him in this World Cup?
Look, honestly, I thought Christian Eriksen was excellent. Unfortunately, had to come up against the might of Australia, and we all know that's no joke. Australia, we're footballing masters. Anyway, I will say, both teams in the final are the only two teams to beat Australia. Just saying.
Interesting.
Yeah. No, Christian Eriksen, he's a wonderful player. Obviously did his reputation no harm whatsoever. He had some pretty amazing stats, and was a real. He gave everything you'd expect from him. He was smooth. He moved the ball around the park as you'd expect from him.
Pat, Christian Eriksen, obviously not the greatest World Cup Denmark had. I think they scored one goal in the whole tournament.
Yeah.
Can't really look at one player. It's a team game.
Let's talk about the Australian game, for example. The Aussies won 1-0. That's all that matters at the end of the day. But let's talk about positive for Christian Eriksen. The Danes had 69% possession and 82% pass accuracy. I'm putting that 82% pass accuracy all down to Christian Eriksen. It was all his. Nobody else. I don't care about anybody else. It was all Christian's, and that's it.
A man of reason. I'm on day. Christian Eriksen.
Yeah, like I say, it was Jay on the show the other day. He said this guy virtually died last year, and he's come back to life. And I'm just, you know what, I'm getting a real good look at him. Obviously, when he's at Ajax, at Spurs, at Inter Milan, I admired him. But now that he's Man United, I can really appreciate what a great footballer he is, and he plays at his own pace. He's brought something different to us, what we crucially needed at Manchester United. And watching him play for Denmark, you see they've got a lot of strong physical players around them, traditionally like that. But just like the Laudrup brothers, he's very talented, and he makes them tick. And I can't wait for him to come back to Man United and be watching him control our midfield with him and Casemiro and all the other boys in the midfield there. Remember, midfield used to be an issue, but thanks to Eriksen and a couple of other players, that's no longer a problem anymore. So big up Christian Eriksen, come back home, put him in cotton wool, and wrap him up for the winter. My Burnley game and what's to come.
Yeah. Marks out of 10 for Eriksen. Mark?
Oh, well, he wasn't that amazing, but I'm completely biased. I love the Danish Dynamite. I grew up loving the Laudrup brothers, and so I'm going to give him a 7, probably.
Even when he's on the losing side, the man gets a 10 from me.
Oh, God, Jesus. Omundi?
I'll just give him a 5. He's just average. There's no disrespect to him. He's a great player, but I just think he didn't really blow up like he done. There's nothing highlights real. Just be him just doing simple things, which he does standard every day, which is not simple to me or the average Joe, but for him it's just that basic. So average 5 for me.
5.5 for me as well. I didn't think they set the world alight in this tournament. I thought this was probably one of their most disappointed tournaments in a very long time for the Danish team. Christian Eriksen did sort of stand out a little bit for them, but again, not so great. So yeah, 5.5. We're going to move on to our Uruguayan Pelestri, a guy that hasn't really featured in the Man United team as yet, but the rumors are he might start slowly coming into the club and start playing in the first team. Omundi Palestri is a player that we signed under Solskjaer, but didn't really know too much about him. And it seems like he's made more probably debut for Uruguay than actually Manchester United.
That's most certainly true. I think at Man United, I was having an argument the other day when we talk about Sancho. They're saying, Sancho hasn't got pace. Maybe he needs to play as number 10 because he's not a winger, because he doesn't bomb down the wing and do the things that traditionally wingers would do. The same applies to Palestri. He's a good, intelligent ball player, and he's not electric with pace like Sancho, but I think he's got other attributes to his game, which will create a better team for us. So he plays possession kind of football. He likes to pop into feet and give and go. And I think playing great experience that he's had. He hasn't had any Premiership experience. Hasn't had a minute at Man United. But like as you're saying, he's played a lot of games internationally now, and that can only make him blossom as a player. He's playing around Cavani and Luis Suarez and all these great players as well. And he's got that position locked down. So I wish him well, and hopefully he can get back into the team or into the squad and prove something that we've got at Man United. That a lot of wingers at the moment, but prove that what he can bring to the game, which is a nice team game. Popping it into feet, like I'm saying, and making triangles, and a team player. I really do appreciate him as a player. So let's see what happens with him going forward.
Pat?
Yeah, look, Palestri, lads, he started 2 out of 3 games. Played out on the right, got taken off as a substitute in both games. Would you hold anything against the young lad? No. There was a couple of people that didn't step up in the Uruguayan team. So he got his experience, and that's what it was all about for the young man. So hopefully he can galvanise on that, take it back to Manchester United, and improve his game, because he's been in the wings for a little bit too long now, as far as I'm concerned. So I'd like to see him step up.
And Mark Palestri.
I thought Palestri did almost nothing in the World Cup, which makes it sound like he didn't have a lot of opportunities, having said that. But what Palestri does do is he's got an incredible change of pace. He's not super quick, but he's more like a sucker. He's got this great change of pace. He gets his shoulder in and he gets round behind. He gets round them, and I think there's something really there. I really like Palestri. I think he's a talent. I think he showed his developing skill set. He threatened an assist in the first game he played. But for me, 4, if we're giving him a score. It feels harsh because he just didn't do anything. But, what do you expect for a young fella? He's really got something, though, and we should definitely persist with him.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to...
4 from me as well.
4. Yeah, 4 from me. Pat?
4 as well.
4.
No, Pat gives him a 10. Stop it. All Manchester United players get a 10 from Pat.
I'm like the father figure here. That's my boy gets a 10. He gets a 10.
Oh, brilliant. Now we're going to go on to Malicious. Now, he's a player that I probably would say is probably one of our best way of doing transfer in a very long time. What I mean by that is we went out, we conquer within the space of a few days without much was said about him. He's come in, he's had a couple of good performances, but at the moment it seems like he's lost favour out of the team now. So Mark, for Netherlands did really well. I love Louis van Gaal little dance after they won and they qualified for the group stage and stuff like with his, he got, even apparently rumours is Man United actually contacted him as well whilst he was doing the celebration as well.
I do know that the Netherlands got under Argentina's skin, which I kind of liked. They had a bit of a punch up in the tunnels, and I like to think that Tyrell laid a few good hard slaps on a few Argentinian.
Probably smiling the whole time with that big set of down for them,
I reckon he could throw down young Tyrell. I reckon he's got a bit of something about him. I like him a lot. He's got, he did nothing in the World Cup, so I won, for the footballing part of it. He was there for the experience because he's a future international for the Netherlands. Undoubtedly, the kid's he's got an incredible attitude. He's everything you like about a Ten Hag player, and I'm a huge fan, but yeah, he didn't actually play, did he? He probably punched a few Argentinians. That's about it. One.
Yeah. Pat?
Look, I emulate everything Mark just said there, okay? I'm a big Malacia fan. He was never going to go into that squad. Louis van Gaal was playing a 3-man at the back with 2 wing backs with Daley Blind. Daley Blind with all the experience in the world. And we all know Louis van Gaal loves Daley Blind.
Loves him, yeah. So
in that case, just kept him out of the squad, and Daley Blind ensured that. So it was an experience for young Malacia. That's all I can say.
On Monday.
Yeah, it's a one from me. Didn't get any game time, but well, bringing back to Man United, I saw a clip of him training the other day, doing the old strongman thing where he's pushing the cart and then coming back. He looks like he's on it and ready to go. So yeah, welcome back.
Yep.
I got to just say, guys, I'm throwing this out here just quickly. If I was Daley Blint's dad at Barcelona, wasn't Van Gaal the manager, I'd be getting a paternity test because he's in that team a whole lot.
Well, yeah, we've got to find out.
I reckon there's some shenanigans going on there at Barcelona, maybe. I'd be getting the paternity test. So,
I call this man the Rolls Royce of Manchester United. You got VD and you got this guy here. Now, obviously, there's a lot of criticism.
We haven't got VD, unfortunately. I've just been tested. I'm all right, thanks.
I've only got a cough, Errol. Give me a break.
Yeah.
wow.
Raphael, now, obviously, the criticism came to him because when he got injured for Manchester United, he went down in tears. Everyone thought he was going to miss the World Cup. He did miss a few games, but he's come into this World Cup and he hasn't actually put a foot wrong. France into the final now. So let's start with Mark, the Rolls Royce of Manchester United.
Buddy, this guy's in the final. We'll get to that in a moment because we're going to talk about the game, preview it. But Raphael Varane has been amazing. His stats have been incredible. Things that only Harry Maguire could only dream of. He's a super player. He's first choice. Look at that. Oh, the lion is getting ready to roar. I'm baiting the lion. That's how I'm cocky. Like I tell you,
look, you're in Australia. That's what I'm going to tell you, boy.
I'm going
Get
the
on the
full
Monday.
pack.
I don't even want to say
full pack
anything.
of
Get on the
Varane.
Monday.
I'm going the full pat. 10 out of 10.
Yeah. Pat?
10 out of 10.
Oh, wow. No comment.
No, Raphael Varane. Look, listen, my only thing is, I just hope he's not an Abbey actor for Manchester United with all this injury all the time, because all of a sudden he's fit for the World Cup. He's played every game. Dale, Upamecano, and Kanute are both getting rotated, and Varane plays every game. So Varane, bring it back to Manchester United, and long may it continue. He's the closest thing to Rio Ferdinand that we could have at that club, and I'm happy.
100%.
He's 10 out of 10 performance.
Wow. On Monday?
Yeah, just have to calm down a little bit here. But I do think when you look at Southgate, the way he picks Maguire, it's based on experience and trust. And I think the same with Deschamps with Varane. He's won in the World Cup in 2018. This is a guy who's surrounded by great French centre-backs as well. And for him, it's testament to him and Deschamps trusting him to bring him through, even though he's coming back from injury and hasn't really played much in the last weeks leading up to the World Cup. So, yeah, I'm really impressed with Varane. It's lovely to see him out there. Like I say, he likes to shepherd people away from the danger area, does it also cool and calmly, and hopefully come back to Man United and form a beautiful partnership again with Martinez.
Yeah, 10 out of 10 for me as well. I just love the guy. I think he's brilliant. But we're going on to Martinez now for Argentina. World Cup finalists as well.
Yeah, you're hitting the soft spot for me here now, Errol.
Yep. So we're going to start with Pat then, with the soft side. Pat?
Well, I'm not happy with the way this man's being treated in the World Cup. That's all I can say. All right. They started with Romero in the first game and Otamendi beside him. Who the heck is Otamendi? He left Man City 4 years ago and I haven't heard of him since. Martinez. So basically what happened is they started with the two lads in the first game, brought Martinez in the second half. Martinez secures the game for them. The following game after that, they changed the formation of the team to play three at the back to bring Martinez in. And went, okay, maybe Otamendi has them over a barrel here and he has to get a game, so they're going to play Martinez as well. The following game, he's dropped again. He's brought back on against Brazil, comes on. He's not Brazil, USA. 80th minute, he's putting in the tackles, blocking shots. He was a superstar again. So I'm not happy the way this man's being treated. He deserves to start every game on his performances, and he gets a 10 out of 10 from me.
On Monday, call for the defense.
I think he's a fantastic player, really good player. He could, I'm surprised he hasn't played every game, but I think he's valued. Maybe he'd step up tomorrow like Lewis Brown in '86 and score in the World Cup final. We know what he's got, and as Pat was saying there, I mean, he's one of the fans' favourites, and I'm sure he'd be an Argentine favourite as well if they do win the World Cup. So I'm going to give him about 6. Unfortunately, he hasn't played enough games, but you never know with the final. what he might do. And just by the way, that he blocked a shot the other day on the line, and it's just fantastic. Yeah, I just thought, wow, that's exactly what you need from the centre back.
Mark,
I'm glad you paused. I'm glad you paused there, Omundi, because I was going to only begin and end with the Australia's World Cup ended at Martinez's blocked shot. What more can I say? We were going to score, and you know what? We could have potentially gone on and won that game. And we ain't good. I'm not saying we're good. We're not good, but we could have. And Martinez literally saved their bacon, you know. So what can I say? I'm going to give him a 7. One more extra, just because he came on at the end of each game, but he literally saved them twice.
Yeah.
They're still there because of.
But is it true that Messi has a problem with Martinez? Because I even hear little rumors that there's a little bit of a rift there. I don't know whether it's true. Could be just could be locker room talk. I don't know, and that's the reason why he's not starting.
Another reason I hate Messi.
He's awful Messi, that fella.
he's terrible. He's such a rubbish player.
He's more like a sheep than a goat.
Yeah. Right, we're talking about Anthony, Casemiro, and my boy Fred. Obviously,
well, you want to start off there now, Errol?
Well, I'll give Fred. I'll give Fred 10 out of 10 for only playing a few minutes. Surprise package was, well, not a surprise, but these was a package to win the World Cup. After sort of the performance, the criticism they got for the dance afterwards. If you haven't got rhythm, then don't worry about criticizing these guys, because they have got rhythm. The only problem with it is they got knocked out the World Cup. And yeah, Fred unfortunately didn't really feature. Casemiro, I thought he was brilliant in it. The games that Anthony featured, I thought he did well when he came in as well. So Anthony would probably get about 6 from me, Casemiro 7, and I would give Fred probably a 4.
Wow, we'll clip that.
Yep, we're going to clip it.
I might as well jump in and talking. Anthony, I think they played a game after the group stage against Cameroon where they rotated, because everyone got a game for Brazil, and they didn't do too well. They lost to Cameroon. I feel sorry for Anthony because he's got Rafinha there, and I didn't think Rafinha was that good. I didn't think he was too hot, to be honest. We were comparing the two about transfers, weren't we, last season, saying who's better, who would fit, you know. And they're very different, even though they're left-footed and play on the right side. They're very different players, and I just felt that Brazil would have done better if they would have played Anthony and given a bit more balance, because a lot of times Rafinha was heavy passing and giving the ball away, running into traffic. I don't know, but Anthony, good player, we know that, but I'm going to give him a 4. Casemiro scored a lovely goal for Brazil as well, led them really well, glued them together, because they had Neymar in the sort of midfield who does nothing, a bit like Messi. He's sort of a luxury player and wants to have workers around him, and I think that's why they went out in the end. We needed 2 Casemiros in the centre mid park, like they did with Dunga and Mara Silva in '94 when they broke the cycle. It was 24 years since they won the World Cup, and I think Fred is a squad player. Has always been a squad player. He came on at the end of games to sort of like have a bit of legs and that kind of thing in that heat of Qatar, and I think he would get about 2 from me, just from lack of game time. But Casemiro done well. I think he gets an 8.
Okay, Pat.
Fred gets a 4. Anthony would have got more if he had been fair going into the World Cup. I think that's the only reason why Rafinha played over him. And Casemiro gets my jazz hands 10 out of 10.
Mark?
I tell you, he gets 10 out of 10 for everything he does. That's it. If he'd done a little painting on a piece of paper, I'd be like, 10 out of 10. Well done, Casemiro. You're so good. Well done, son.
I am right in that Casemiro fan club with you, Pat, mate. I'm not going to give him jazz hands. I'm not giving him jazz hands.
Jazz feet. Jazz feet.
I'll give him 9. 9. I'll give him almost the jazz
Hold
hands.
On. How do we want to follow you on Twitter?
9. I'll give him a 9, and I'll tell you why I'll give him 9, because whatever Brazil needed, Brazil need a worldie, Casemiro, enter Casemiro. Whatever they needed, he was doing. And if only some of the other ghosts out there had stood up, like that Leeds reject. I just don't even care what he's called anymore. Whatever. Shouldn't have been playing over Anthony. He's far more talented. He's got techers, mate. Then they probably would have done better. But Anthony didn't get a chance. I'm going to give him a 4. That's a realistic score. Obviously, Casemiro, I'm just going to give him a high score because, you know, I think he's the greatest player in the world. that leaves Fred. And look, Fred couldn't. He'd probably sit on the bench for Australia. Like, let's be honest. Like, he's got to be the nicest guy in the world. How he gets in all these things.
Errol, you can remove him if you want.
I'm going to get sacked. I'm getting sacked from the Manchester United agenda in this show. You're seeing it happen in real time here, people. I'm offending the two gods of the channel. I'm Maguire and Solo. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'll say anything. I don't care. I'll be lucky to be back after this, but no.
Yeah. Just let you know, everybody. It's going to be Mark
I'm going to give Fred
show.
the anti-lawless one.
You wait till Fred scored a worldie. Wait till Fred scored a worldie. Now we're talking about Jorginho, Harry Maguire, and Marcus Royal Class, apparently Rashford. Now we're going to start with on Monday with these guys. Shaw, from what he's done to where he's back now, he's back, look like he's playing his best football. Harry Maguire, a lot of criticism, and it seems like he's doing really well at the moment. Marcus Rashford, poor form last season, doing really well. But I think, to be honest with you, this is Marcus Rashford's ceiling. I don't think he can go any higher, and that's me being honest. On Monday?
Well, you can be honest as you want on this show. That's great. That's what we're here to do. I disagree with you on all accounts there. Luke Shaw, when I look at the World Cup, people say it's the best World Cup. I don't think for players. I think the standard's really poor. How many left backs are better than Luke Shaw in this World Cup? Not many. The French guy was getting ripped by Saka. Poor decision making by him. And who else is there? I mean, the Argentine boy, Acuna, whatever. There's not many good left backs. And Luke Shaw stands out for me in the World Cup. He played really well, and he plays for Manchester United. And he's starting to get the confidence back again. Very good touch. Can run with the ball in his stride. I just think he gives us good balance for England. And he played pretty well on the big stage. So fair play to him. I'll give him a 6. Harry Maguire, obviously going into the tournament, he hadn't had much game time. But as we were saying with Varane and Deschamps, Southgate's got that same relationship with him, the experience, the trust that they have together, and he managed to play a lot of games. He did make a mistake against Iran. The guy got blindsided, the striker, and got in and scored a goal. And people would say that the goal against France with Giroud, Harry Maguire could have got in front of him or something. And I do agree. I'm a defender, and I think that's a slight mistake. But overall, I thought he played pretty well. And so fair play to him, because it shows you've got to have thick skin to come back from all this. He played at the biggest club in England, in Man United, and all the pressure's on him. And I thought he performed really well considering all those factors. And as for Marcus Rashford, as you were saying, Errol, I think he has done really well. He's come back. He's learned a bit. His decision making is a lot better. He played from the right, scored 2 goals, cut in on his left foot and scored. Something we were struggling. We're saying he couldn't do for Man United. And it's only can do well for Man United to come back into the side after that good World Cup. His stock's gone up. PSG is sniffing around him, and he's a very good player.
Pat?
Marcus Rashford, Luke Shaw. The two of them look fresh. They look in form. And most of all, the difference from the two of them compared to the last couple of years is focused. They just look focused on what they're doing. They know what they have to do. None of this, run up to a ball. I missed a swipe at it and go throw my arms out and go, play up to the cameras and walk off. Them two lads look focused, and long may it continue. That's what I want to see. I love Marcus Rashford, and I would love nothing more than Luke Shaw's form to continue. Now, Harry Maguire. My problem I have with everybody's problem with Harry Maguire is they find fault with every single thing the fella does. My God, it drives me up the wall. If somebody was to follow me around with a camera on the wall documentary and find all the mistakes I make, they'd find about 10 of them a day. But you know what makes me so good at what I do? I cover up the mistakes I make. And I'm sure Harry Maguire does exactly the same when he's on the pitch. If he makes a mistake, he reacts and makes up for it. You cannot highlight every single mistake this fella makes. He might be, in my opinion, the third choice centre-back for Manchester United, but he is still on the improvement list, as far as I'm concerned, with Erik ten Hag. So I'll give Maguire 6, and I'll give Rashford and Luke Shaw. I think I'll give Rashford an 8, and I'll give Luke Shaw a 7.
Sounds about fair. Mark?
Well,
they're all shite.
I'm going to say I have seen Harry Maguire's press conferences, so he definitely tries to cover up what he's been up to on the field. But look, you know what? I'm going to surprise you. I know I was joking before about Fred, who I actually love Fred. as well. So I'm only I'm being completely serious. The reason I bring that up is I'm being completely serious in what I'm about to say here. I'm not joking. Like Fred obviously didn't get a 1. Maguire, I'm going to give a 7, and I think that's harsh. He could have got higher. Probably should get higher. He made a couple of mistakes that led to goals potentially. 2 in the matches, but on the whole, I think he was excellent. Like I think he's covered himself in glory and added a few million to his sale price to Aston Villa. But look, you're right, Pat. He does get micromanaged. He is a sort of, he gets under my skin. Like I have high expectations, but look, you know what? I don't care if he stays or leaves. I think he's a wonderful player, and I think he had a very good World Cup, and we shouldn't be giving him a hard time at all. He was excellent. Marcus Rashford, wow. I love Marcus Rashford so much that I hate Gareth Southgate. That's true. I hate Gareth Southgate because I love Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford, and you can clip me up all you want. If he had I can tell you right now, any other manager in the game would have started Rashford, Saka, and Kane. They've been the starting 3 for England, and you'd be there Sunday. You'd be there. In my humble opinion, I'm an outsider. I don't barrack for England. I don't give a rat's.
Yeah, but the World Cup wasn't even over, and the PSG bloody president was like, "We'll pay 500 million for Marcus Rashford."
We want him because I'm telling you right now, in my humble opinion, and you can clip me up, you can laugh at me all you want, but Marcus Rashford and Mbappe were the 2 best players at the World Cup. Obviously, there was some great midfielders, but up front as strikers, because the best player was probably that French guy, that midfielder. What's his name? The Atletico Madrid guy, the blonde
thingy. What's his name?
Griezmann was probably the best player of the World Cup. Like, let's be honest. But Mbappe and Rashford for me were the 2 best forwards. Every time Rashford took the pitch, he was absolute gold. He was gold. He struck fear into every team. He was getting them off his right foot, getting them off his left foot, free kicks, you name it. He had 3 goals in almost no minutes, and anyone else except for Gareth Southgate, what a maroon, could see how good he was. It's heartbreaking for Rashford and for England that they're not there where they deserve to be, because quite frankly, I thought they have the best team. They have the best squad in the World Cup, better than France with their injuries. And, it's only because of Gareth Southgate that England aren't in the final right now. Rashford, for me, I don't care. For me, 8. Maguire, 7. And Shaw, I think, was excellent too, 7.5.
Okay. And we're going to go on. We're going to go on to Dalot, Bruno Fernandes, and the GOAT himself. So obviously, Bruno Fernandes, I thought he had a fantastic at one stage. I think after the 3rd game or something like that, he was probably stats. I know we talk about eye tests and stuff, but on stats, he was probably the best player at the World Cup on stats itself. Cristiano Ronaldo didn't really and truly do too much in this World Cup. I desperately wanted him to get to the final. And Dalot, again, I thought Dalot done well, but I think if I remember rightly, the last game he played, he came on and then got injured as well in that game. So it is a concern. We're not sure how fit he's going to be for the Premier League game that's going to start. So let's go to Pat.
Bruno Fernandes, player of the tournament so far. That's it. He gets a 10.5, 11 out of 10. He gets to be jazz hands by 2, so it's 20 as far as I'm concerned. Bruno was great. I hope he brings that form back to Manchester United.
It was
just like Marcus Rashford. Thiago Dalot, he's done very well as well. He's improving all the time. More than happy. Cristiano Ronaldo. What do I say?
The GOAT, by the way.
Yeah. He was milking the GOAT during the tournament, wasn't he? I don't know what to say, lads. It got slightly embarrassing towards the end when he was claiming goals that he didn't even come near.
He did score that goal.
I'm a Manchester United fan, lads. I remember the day when he walked into Old Trafford with that brutal-looking jumper with the cross on it, and he was 17-year-old from Sporting Lisbon. And I loved him from the day he walked in to the day he left. But it's getting slightly embarrassing now the way he's upsetting players. And he didn't have a great World Cup as far as... No, terrible World Cup. He's getting a 4 from me.
Come on, Pat. He walked into Old Trafford with a Carter Unstoppable Sex Machine haircut. He did look great. He had teeth
No.
like mine. You look terrible.
I don't mean look right. I said I loved him
Amazing.
from the start. I loved him from the start until
Really?
he left. I loved him from the start, but no, he's got his World Cup.
I have a better haircut than Ronaldo had then.
Yes.
Oh
sure.
wow, that said something. Mark.
Look, what Pat said, I'm on board with Pat. I got his back. He's my Irish brother. Diego Dalot had a great World Cup. I'm going to give him a 7. Bruno Fernandes, he's close to Jazz hands. He would be in, and look, I might be talking out of turn here, but there could be another show for the lucky members who are smart enough like me to give us their money every month. There could be another show where we talk about our top 11 players for the World Cup after it's all said and done. If the boss man upstairs there decides to do it. And Bruno Fernandes, I'll give you a little bit of a preview. I'm on board with Pat. He would be in that team of the tournament. He was absolutely top draw. He looked great without Ronaldo on the pitch, and I can't wait to see him come back to United without Ronaldo and do bits. Ronaldo, my heart broke when he cried because I love Ronaldo. Like you got no idea. But
how the mighty have fallen.
Fred was better than Ronaldo.
You're only trying to win Errol back now. Cut that out.
I'm clickbaiting. Cut me up.
Now, why don't you say Harry Maguire was better than Ronaldo's now while you're at it? As a centre forward.
Harry Maguire was more of a goal threat than Ronaldo to England.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, God. On one day.
Diego Dalot, he played really well. He's one of the best right backs going forward now, I think. Not just, don't mean going forward on the pitch, but going forward for Man United. And if you're looking at it as a neutral, watching the World Cup as a neutral player, neutral person, you're watching the World Cup, you're saying, oh, who are good players? You'd say that guy from Portugal's really good, the right back. He gets up and down, he's professional, and he made some good assists as well in some of their whoopings. But I'm really disappointed with Portugal. They got such talent inside, they let themselves down. That's why I don't think Bruno should be in my World 11, the team of the tournament 11. I don't think he was good enough. I think they'd all be disappointed. They really should be disappointed with their performance. Going out like that to Morocco, who, man for man, they should beat, if being realistic here. So I think Dalot gets a 7 from me. Really good performance by him. Just hope he's healed up from his injury. Bruno Fernandes gets a 7 as well. Obviously, he scored a hat-trick, didn't he? Did he score? Yeah, he scored a hat-trick. And he was quite instrumental for them. But Ronaldo is going to get a 2 for me. I think you said the word there, Pat. You said embarrassing, and I agree with you. It was really disappointing. He shouldn't be playing. He should come off the bench and do something. But Roger Miller was 38 years old, and he had more life and legs in him than Ronaldo at the same age. So, yeah, really.
Roger Miller was probably about 48.
Yeah, maybe he's passport age. Yeah, for sure. But he had more life in him, and he showed a lot more skill and go than Ronaldo, who was just,
Just to give you a little bit of excitement, lads, Diego Dalot has returned to train at Old Trafford already.
Good
Okay,
news.
that's being released by One Football.
Good news. So, quick one now, guys. We're going to wrap up a bit now, but before we wrap up, we want to talk about who is your tournament favorite to win this World Cup. So, I'm going to start first. I desperately do not want Argentina to win it. Good football inside, Messi, world-class player. But I'd rather them not win it, because I think, not saying the World Cup is fixed, but there's certain games I've watched and I just think to myself, it's almost like they wanted a Messi, Ronaldo sort of final. That's what it built up to be. And then obviously Portugal got knocked out and then it became the Messi show. So that's why I want France to desperately go and beat them. I just don't want Messi to win the World Cup. I don't know what your thoughts are. And it's not me being bad on the player. He's a great player. You don't deserve to win it. You got to earn it, not deserve it. So hopefully the best team win, and the best team on the day will be France. I'm on there.
Solo 7.
Go on,
Solo 7. You taught me in my head. You better come to me last now. That was a bombshell of a bit of a speech you said there. Can somebody else speak before me? Because all of a sudden I'm lost. Well done, man.
Okay, I'll go. Look, I don't like to talk about these things. I just like the sport. I play football. I enjoy the game. And these things. But if you talk to me in private, I would give you a whole spiel and bore you to death about what I really think about certain things about business and football. It does seem sometimes that they do what's best for business. Hence why I think France have got a better squad, but I think Argentina are going to win 1-0. And what's best for business is for Messi to bow out as the best player in the world by lifting the World Cup. The one thing that anyone in a barbershop in an argument would say, oh, he's never won a World Cup. Well, here you go. Here's your man, Messi gets the World Cup. I think Argentina will win. It just seems destined for them to win.
Written. It's written.
Yeah, because the comparison to Maradona, Pelé is really sick right now. Messi might just go ahead and win the tournament. And just to say this right now, he should thank his teammates. If he does, him just for getting for the final, because he's done nothing but walk and stroll around the pitch. Granted, he's super talented, but everyone's doing all the donkey work for him. And I just think it's disappointing. I think if that's their strength, then fair enough, do it. But he is strolling around the park, doing nothing. And I think based on that, France should win because they're more of a team. But Argentina, I've just got a funny feeling they're going to win 1-0. And he's going to walk away and retire as a world champion.
And the thing for me as well, Pat, I'll come to you next, it's about gamesmanship. And the way they went on with Holland, I just didn't like that gamesmanship at all. Just didn't like it. I think it was horrible taste. What they did.
That was the ball kick.
No, celebrating in front of the players.
It wasn't classy.
No, it's not. No.
And their excuses were piss poor, excuse me. It's members only. I can say that.
I filled full of loads of emotions here at the moment. When it came to the last 4 teams, I was kind of looking at going Croatia and Morocco. I wanted them to get to the final just because it's Croatia and Morocco. But at the end of the day, the bigger squads would always prevail against smaller squads. You know, France littered with superstars. Argentina, the same. I look at the Argentina squad, and as much as I love the love story of Messi winning the World Cup, Alvarez has carried him for all the running and goal scoring for the World Cup. Now, France deserve a lot more respect than they deserve, and probably Deschamps does as well, because France have got through a lot of games with players like Olivier Giroud scoring goals, where people are underrating him and not even looking at him, and all of a sudden he pops up and scores, where they're spending too much time watching Mbappe and Griezmann, and all of a sudden Giroud comes off the bench and scores. So who do I want to win? I don't have a team to pick, really. That's
Mark.
For me, I'm all about Manchester United. Love Manchester, hate everyone else. So me, this is Martinez versus Varane. You know, who do I like the best? Well, that manager at Argentina is an absolute smoker of the, man rod. Yeah,
of the broccoli.
Can't stand him. Like, he never plays Martinez, so I'm going for France. Also, I'm ride or die with Ronaldo, and I just want Argentina to lose just because I don't want Messi to ever have won a World Cup and Ronaldo not. Simple as that. I don't care. I'm biased.
Mark, you just made my mind up. The manager doesn't play Martinez. I'm on Team France.
See, everyone, you can change everyone's mind. There you go. So they weren't that bad then.
Where's my flags? I'm going to open the cupboard here and get the flags.
There you go. So we all go in on Monday, 1-0, see the game out. Argentina, he thinks, will win it, but whether or not it's justice, we're not sure. We just got to wait and see what team the referees support on the day. That's all we've got to say.
Right. Can I say a comment before Omundi gives a speech? Because it wants to be short and quick. They've only started Martinez in 1 game so far in the big games, okay? I hope they don't start Martinez and they get fucking hammered, because they should have played Martinez from the start, and the final will be where they get caught out. So let's go Team Martinez. Come on, France.
I reckon Martinez must have shagged Messi's wife.
And the managers as well.
Jesus.
I reckon Martinez is probably frowning upon Messi strolling around the pitch, getting away without doing the donkey work. He's a worker. Yeah. And maybe that's it. I think it's a character thing there, where he's probably thinking, why is this guy not doing any work? And I'm putting my head in front of the people's studs and boots on the goal line and sort of thing. I think something to do with that.
We all know that Omundi is secretly a Dalek now. But
yeah, we're going to end now because it's garlic in.
Yeah, he's outed himself as a Dalek. But I will say that it happens to be a fact what the big line is saying up top of me. The big line is saying that Messi walks a lot, and it's statistically a fact that Messi has walked more kilometers in this World Cup than any other player, and by a long way. And yeah, whatever. Messi the walker. That's who he is to me.
Yeah.
I'm all about France.
France to win it. Right, guys, so that is your preview show, and it seems like I've twisted everyone's arms, and hopefully France do win the World Cup. But from us, guys, make sure you like and sharing and subscribing to the Money Agenda. And from us, good night.